defending. I think it's like.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian, bro. Come on.
With an intro like that, what more is there to be said and what more is there to say? People deluded, I'm back again. Appreciative to you lot tuned in. If you're tuned in for the first time, make sure you're subscribing and hitting the like button. Even if you're not, make sure you're subscribing and hitting the like button. As usual, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and in some cases, good night. I hope everyone's blessed. I hope everyone's safe. Of course, we're missing Arsenal, but, you know, at the time of making this video, it's the 30th of November. We're moving ever closer to the West Ham game and just seeing the Premier League in its full glory, and definitely where Arsenal are at in the league table. We didn't want this World Cup. Shout out to Saka and them things there for advancing to the next round. Hopefully Saliba can get some World Cup minutes against Tunisia. I'm a bit doubtful, but at least he rests his legs, people. Transfer business. Now the market isn't open. The dream is free. The hustle is sold separately. A lot of these rumors are nonsense, but if nothing more, they provide talking points. And obviously we've been linked with Kudus, with Bennacer, with Gakpo is probably going to go Man United, primarily Mudryk, you know, Hakan Çalhanoğlu been thrown into it today. You know, we'll be here all day. Check out the YouTube playlist as well, people, to see, you know, all the videos I've done in relation to the transfer news and things like that. Last but not least, before we get into it, is Bayesian Independence Day. One love to all my Bayesian ones out there. Happy Independence Day to the beautiful West Indian island of Barbados. And shout out to everyone else, so you know about for where my thing. And if you didn't know what the flag looks like, get to know it. Get to know. You know what we're on. You know what we do out here. Green screen's being a hater, but you can't stop greatness, in which Barbados is. Shout out to Jamaica as well, cause that's where man's from as well in terms of heritage. But enough rambling, enough waffling. Let me share my screen with you guys and let's crack on, man. Straight into it. Now, in relation to Kudus, before I talk about stuff, obviously he's been a player that obviously bigger clubs have been looking at for a while now. You know, he's not exactly setting the world alight for Ajax. He has shown in the Champions League bits and pieces, but he's not been a consistent starter. Maybe this World Cup is the platform he needs to remind those at Ajax of his talent or alert other clubs. And he's someone that's been on the radar. Liverpool have sent scouts, Arsenal have sent scouts, like they were doing it. It's due diligence. It's like any job you lot work. You know, if you truly care about the industry, you might work at one company, but you always, you know, go on Google, you know, and update yourself of industry trends and things like that. Scouting and monitoring players is no different, people. Like I said, he's using the platform very well. He's being a front runner for Ghana. You know, football's a team game, but he's the 22-year-old is doing well, and he's one of those players. Him, Gakpo, I would say Buchanan of Canada. There is obviously a couple of other players as well, but I would say off the top of my head who have really stood out and maybe convinced clubs to take a chance in January, people. Before we get into the Arsenal actual news related to him, apparently by Barcelona director Cruyff, and Barcelona have been speaking about Endrick, specifically their manager. So maybe this is a way of them going on the offensive. We've been tracking Mohammed Kudus for more than 1 year. We can't say now that we can't say now that Barca want Kudus, but he's attracting interest. Why would you come out and say that unprovoked? So maybe there's a bit of gamesmanship there. He's scoring goals, and in Holland, they discuss a lot about his position. So yes, I know him well. Obviously, he is Dutch. Cruyff is Dutch. Might be a Barca director. The current club Kudus plays for is in Holland, so naturally he's going to be spoken of. Primary report coming out of Ghana. Apparently, Arsenal have joined the list of clubs monitoring Ghana midfielder Mohammed Kudus ahead of the winter transfer window. The Ajax star has taken the World Cup by storm, scoring 2 goals and provided an assist in 2 matches, and they're going to need him against Uruguay. He's enjoying a blistering campaign this season, and he has 9 goals across all comps for the Dutch champions. Allegedly, we have seen this report before, Liverpool have sent scouts to Qatar to watch the player. Ten Hag is an admirer and apparently is eyeing a renewal. You know, again, if they bring in Gakpo, Eredivisie could be a league for them. However, Arsenal are set to hijack any possible move, with Thomas Partey seen as the man to convince Mohammed Kudus to the club. Arsenal benefit from the same approach before, after Saka played a role in the arrival of Ramsdale to the Emirates. And naturally, you know, obviously, Thomas Partey's, his job role is a midfielder. It's going to take more than just Partey. You're going to have to convince him of a project beyond the glitz and glamour of the Premier League and the historic lore of Arsenal Football Club and the project we're doing. He's going to have a conversation with Mykhailo Mudryk. How does he fit in the short, medium, and long term? How much football can he expect? How can he improve as a player? The plans that Arsenal might have for the future. Obviously, having a fellow countryman like Thomas Partey would help, a bit like Mudryk and Zinchenko, potentially Bukayo Saka with Ramsdale, as stated here, Ben White and things like that. And that, that's no different from a lot of clubs, really and truly. But it's going to take more than that, really. If I'm honest with you, there's nothing really tangible in this, but you can believe Arsenal and everyone are scouting the lad, innit? So we'll have to see where Kudus is concerned. Apparently, in relation to Bennacer, who's, I'd take this with a pinch of salt. Anything that links us with midfielders out of Italy or any publications, I look at it with a pinch of salt. Apparently, Tammy Abraham's available for sale with Roma. Bennacer was at the Emirates. Hopefully he could return. I'd love him to. But as I said, he's in contract talks, or allegedly. Arsenal initiate contact for signing. Gunners are pressing for transfer to happen, people. This is in relation to Bennacer. His contract is expiring in 2024, which means the likes of him, Maddison, Declan Rice, Milinkovic-Savic, anyone contracted at their clubs until 2024. This coming summer or the summer of 2023, anything can happen. Is probably where they can be in their strongest bargaining position, or they run the risk of losing a player for free, or in January selling him on the cheap if he hasn't agreed a contract with another club. This reporter said both Arsenal and Chelsea have made initial contact, making surveys potentially to find out if the player wants to move. This all comes amid Milan's efforts to get a contract renewal. So there's the possibility Arsenal and others will be used to try and pressure the Italian club into offering higher wages than they otherwise would have. As you know, Bennacer is represented by Enzo Rinola, who is helping to run, Mino Rainola's empire after, sadly, the super agent died earlier this year. So we'll have to monitor that one. Keeping up the theme with that, apparently Bennacer wants AC Milan to increase their contract offer by another 1 million. And he's spent a number of years in Italy. He's won the Scudetto. There, as you can see there's some points off Napoli, but they're fighting to retain it. You're playing in the Champions League. He's been in London, so I do think there is a law that Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, any of the teams linked with him could offer him. He's also been linked with a move back to France in Paris Saint-Germain, but you have to take these things with a pinch of salt. There's an offer on the table for Bennacer to renew his contract and to be paid 3 million per season. He actually wants 4 million, people, and he currently earns 1.7. So we'll have to see, people. And this has also dropped Man United. It's been reported that both Manchester United and Liverpool in the Premier League were very keen on signing him last summer, but Milan were not concerned as the 50 million euro release clause had expired, people. Once again, he has changed agents as well, probably to maybe get a better deal at AC Milan, maybe to get a move elsewhere. But again, the hustle is free. The hustle is free. Sorry, the dream is sold separately. Said it so many times, almost forgot. So we'll have to see with Bennacer. Allegedly, further confirmation that Jurgen Klopp is waiting in the wings potentially for Bennacer. You look at Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United, and Liverpool. You could make a case, and I'm sure their fans would make a case for all these clubs need centre mids, maybe different profiles and things, and everybody wants exceptional players that can raise the curtain. And I think Bennacer isn't a world-class talent, but he's a very good player, with the scope to get even better. So I'm all for it, and I'm sure many fans aren't up for it, or maybe up for it as well, people. So if we can bring the Algerian international, France youth international, former Arsenal man back to the club, why not? Apparently they want 52 million for the 24-year-old, so it won't come cheap, but he's got an admiring Thierry Henry. He's good in both ends of the pitch. Sometimes gives the ball away quite cheaply, but, left-footed, can play in a tight space, got an engine, has a good passing range. There's so much to like about him, Apparently, he's up there for tackles in Serie A this season. He's in the top 20, so he's got everything you need for Mikel Arteta team to be helped in the short to medium term and obviously long term, and actually to improve in a player. And with a coach like Mikel Arteta, you take his weaknesses, you enhance what he's good at, obviously, and we might be laughing, people. So yeah, further confirmation, as you can see, that we're looking at Bennacer. All of these reports are just echoing the same thing. Once again, the key point is his contract is running down, 24 years of age, drawing interest from the Premier League. So we'll have to wait and see what happens in that regards, people. Apparently his renewal is a priority of AC Milan's as expected. And once again, Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea, saving the best till last in Arsenal. are obviously monitoring situations. And with what's going on at Juventus or not going on, you can probably expect us to be linked with Locatelli and Vlahovic and them kind of guys again. They're also trying to get Rafa Leao, who some Arsenal fans and other football fans would like as well. But his contract is also of the utmost importance. So they've got work to do, but it's not over to the fat lady sings, people. Primarily coming out of Algeria, as you can see here, people, Arsenal offer, allegedly, we haven't received any confirmation as much as fans can of this, but Arsenal offer 55 million. Bennacer wants to go to Arsenal. Apparently, Chelsea offer 48 million. His agent and his lawyer want to sell him to Chelsea. Maybe they get a better sell-on clause. I don't know, but it's a lot of gameplay. Again, if you're AC Milan trying to get him a new deal, and you hear there's offers from Chelsea and Arsenal who can offer him, more money, the riches of the Premier League, and he's lived in London before, that's probably confirmation to get get a move on in relation to a renewal. So we'll have to monitor that one very closely. Apparently Ryan Taylor on YouTube, who works for the Express, again journalist, he said, I think one of the clubs you'll see most active actually is Arsenal, because the feeling I get from those that I speak to at Arsenal is that they want to capitalize on their situation, whether that means Mudryk, Danilo, Bennacer, Telemans, whoever, get it done, man. Get whatever Mikel Arteta needs to improve people. I don't know for how good or not Ryan Taylor is at his job. Essentially all journalism is guesswork. Some people obviously have connections. I'm not saying he does or doesn't. I just simply say, people, we accept these rumors at face value. This account here said he's not tier 3-4 and has been consistent with Arsenal news, including a few exclusive, and was also one of the first to Torreira's developments and first to say where Runnison was going. So again, take that with a pinch of salt. But until people are holding shirts, lifting up scarves, and pretending this is an Arsenal flag, who knows, people. Apparently, Arsenal continue to court Marcus Thuram. Tottenham might try to get him in January, but Gladbach, expect a transfer sum of 20 million euros, considering he'll have 6 months to run on his deal. I don't think they're in a position for that. And the player wants a fee of up to 10 million euros a year, which could prompt him to wait and leave on a free transfer. He's currently in the France squad. Who knows, people? But his name is consistently floated. Mykhailo Mudryk price drop opens door for third Arsenal January signing as Edu decides priority. Shout to Tom Canton, Mike Killy. What has he specifically said? Edu and Arteta are looking to add quality to the Arsenal team. Football.London understands that a long-term interest in Mudryk remains, and the Ukrainian remains the centre of a discussion for the attacking signing this winter, people. The Mirror have obviously claimed that Shakhtar Donetsk have obviously significantly lowered their asking price to around 40 million, people, for the 21-year-old. And at the start of the Mudryk links, you was hearing 100 million and all of these sort of things. Many fees have been floated. The other area that Arsenal expected to push to reinforce is central midfield. Football.London understands that Danilo of Palmeiras was a target the club eyed in the summer and could return for in January. Expected price tags surrounding Danilo are reportedly in the region of 20 to 25 million. Therefore, should Arsenal bring the pair in for a reasonable combined fee, a third signing might not be too far-fetched, people, and you could make an arguable case for two midfielders. Therefore, a box-to-box option might be the way forward. Telemans fits the bill, but Football.London understands Edu is willing to wait until the summer when the Belgium deal runs out. Obviously, we keep some more money in the transfer kitty. You just have to give him a signing-on fee and a nice contract. So we'll have to see. Apparently, we're looking at left-sided centre-half, people, as he's the only option there. We have heard Hincapie, who made a mistake for Ecuador and gave away a penalty in that game. I would like a centre-back full stop. If you could get a left-sided one, a left-footed one, why not, people? So the key takeaways from this is that obviously it echoes another journalist or publication echoing that we're looking at Danilo, we're looking at Mudryk. Arsenal are intent on capitalising on where they are in the league to further confirm Champions League football or beyond, which we failed to do last January. And then we're also looking at other areas. We're not going to address everything in January. January is a techie market for many reasons, people. I always describe January as a reactive market. Contracts, players not happy with their situations, are what players wanting to try a new experience. Nobody really wants to sell or buy in January if you can help it, because you would have done everything in the summer. So it's a bit of gamesmanship. We'll have to see, people. But yeah, man, we might wait until the summer for Telemans as well. So further confirmation. In relation to Mudryk, apparently Shakhtar's last match in 2022 is also Mudryk's last match at his club. Mudryk has really made significant progress, achieving 18 goals in 18 matches for Shakhtar in the 2022-23 season, says Sport Area. He's been named in the UPL team of the season by Sports Arena. Man said Arena. There's an end there again. Haven't had my morning coffee. But anyways, moving on, people, with that. And in fact, on that as well, I'm sure you've all seen, where is it gone? Mudryk liking Instagram posts again, further doing everything he can to join Arsenal Football Club. Big up AFTV people, but apparently Mudryk liked to post in relation to Arsenal. Apparently Arsenal wanted to sign him. You can see the initial tweet is Saka, Martinelli, Mudryk, and Smith Rowe as winger options, all 22 or younger. Yes, please. He's hit the like. Now maybe he's playing games. It does feel. Not that Arsenal doesn't want him and not that we're not going to sign him, but it's like he's doing all he can to be on the aggressive and be on the assault to leave his current employers and try a new experience in a new league, whether that is Arsenal Football Club or anywhere else. Again, we'll have to see, people. So, yeah, man, but he's giving interviews with everyone that he can. You know, hopefully Mr. and Mrs. Zinchenko are doing their bit to convince their fellow Ukrainian to join. He's doing Twitter fingers, social media fingers. So, yeah, it's a bit of banter, people, but you can see that they're in it, people. That's his name there. Whether it's real and I don't know, people. You know, social media can produce some weirdos. The president of Arsenal target, Milinkovic Savic, says he's one of the best in the world. He is. Maybe the latter when you talk about the elite midfielders, maybe towards the end. But yeah, he's contracted until 2024. Hasn't really set, the World Cup alight for Serbia, but he's a quality player, you know, and I've spoken about him probably too many times now, people. And the president hasn't been shy in how he values his Serbian international people. You know, he was apparently 120 million euros, 105 million in pounds, people. So, yeah, apparently, you know, the president, as quoted by Fabrizio Romano, is alleged to have said, guess how much he's worth. He scored a goal at the World Cup with his ankle injured, and he's one of the best. He's the best midfielder in the world. I don't know about the best, but hear that. And, you know, Lokonga's been linked with a lot of Italian teams and actually being involved in swap deals, people. Milinkovic Savic, in my opinion, ends up at Juventus. Again, we've all seen the latest Juventus news, so I have to look at it with a pinch of salt. There has been rumours he will sign a new deal at Lazio as a mark of respect and then negotiate a transfer fee away. And I can't begrudge Lazio for wanting to sell to the highest bidder, especially where the Premier League is concerned. 11 goals and 12 assists in all comps last season, people. This campaign has 5 goals and 7 assists. You know, could play slightly different, but in that Xhaka role, people. And at 27, he's firmly a player that's kind of here for the present and got many years in him. Because at 27, in 5 years, you're still only 32, and his game isn't reliant on his physical qualities, really. So, yeah, I do think Serbia have underwhelmed in the World Cup, him included, but he's done all right. So we'll have to see how that one develops, people. We've also been linked with Hakan Çalhanoğlu as well. Again, you need to read these things with a pinch of salt, people. We've also been linked with Bennacer. Scrolling to Hakan Çalhanoğlu, people, and the bulk of it, apparently Arsenal and Aston Villa are interested in the Inter Milan number 20. We'll have to see, people. It must be said that Inter have no intention of depriving themselves of it. Again, Google Translate. That probably means of him during the current season. It's no coincidence that they're thinking about the opportunity to take advantage of the renewal option included in the contract expiring in 2024. So there you have why he might be linked with us, Aston Villa, and elsewhere, people. Apparently, it could take 30 million euros to tempt him to the carpet, people, or anywhere else. Arsenal once again have been linked with the Scottish young player Jack Wiley, people, and face competition from Manchester United. I mean, there's a lot of decent Scottish players on the scene and arriving, people, and a lot of them are finding their way to Italy. You know, Hogue, you know, the lad at Brentford, his name's escaped me, man. Hickney. Again, we've obviously got Kieran Tierney. There's a couple of players, you know. Is it Ben Dork of Liverpool? He's gone over there from Celtic and doing quite well. There's a lot of decent Scottish players, on the scene. So if we can get him long term, if he has the ability to progress to the first team, fair play. If not, and he has the potential to just be sold for a profit, why not? You know, people dropped my phone there. Our interest allegedly dates back to September, where we've been scouting him. So hopefully, if we do want him and there's a move to be done, we get it done, people. But yeah, I think that puts an end to the transfer news. So, yeah, we've spoken about Mudryk, Telemans, Milinkovic Savic, Bennacer, Hakan Çalhanoğlu. Obviously, you've got the Cody Gakpos and these sort of names, you know, still being floated around. And there's probably other players as well by the time this video comes out. So, yeah, people, that's all we've got. I'd love to know your opinions. So when this premieres on YouTube, please make sure you're commenting your opinions in the chat. If you're catching this on a rerun or if you didn't have any comments at the time, please make sure you comment. Subscribe, hit the like button, turn on your notifications, people. Journey to 100,000 alive and kicking. As usual, I hope you lot remain well and safe. Attack your goals aggressively and appreciative as well for all the support you lot give me. I'm really appreciative and it's really appreciated, man. You lot stay blessed, stay safe. Check out the playlist for the rest of all my other Arsenal or football related content. Make sure you're joining me for my World Cup watch-alongs. But for now, I'm going to have to love and leave you. Safe, people.
Always that active red light.
Bendy.
I think it's like